You know what's funny? I was just on the computer and hey, thank you. You're gonna be in the video. Thank you for subscribing though. But I was just on my computer on the internet, came in from the gym, took a shower, and I get a notification. And the notification is from Twitter that I was put on a list as you're seeing right now for communist, and I'm not obviously going to say that word, but that got me thinking, do you think these people are happy? Do you think people who spend their life on the internet making lists of like their perceived enemies, do you think these people are actually happy, well-adjusted individuals? If the answer is no, then I guess you can check out of this video. Thank you for stopping by. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all those good, fun YouTuber things. But if you're still like, maybe they are happy people, I have more questions to ask you. Do you think a happy, well-adjusted person would go to the lengths that people are going to? Do you think a well-adjusted person, for example, would go out of their way to fabricate tweets and messages in order to paint someone as a pedophile? Because I've seen that happening. It happened to Niara, sorry. I saw that happening today, where people were literally using doctored photos that were debunked by her, but still using it as a response to anytime she posts anything. Do you think that is something a happy, well-adjusted person would do? If you're still not sure, it's okay. We can keep going. Do you think people who do stuff like that with the express purpose of having people's relationships either end or having them lose access to things as far as the internet goes, like sponsorships or, just opportunities, like, do you think that's a healthy thing to do? I saw people talking about that very thing in the VTubing space, where there were VTubers who were saying, you know what, I'm okay with you, but the people you hang around with, I don't want to be attached to that. Even though, again, said person that they're talking about has people lying on them, blatantly, provably lying. Do you think that's a good outcome? That's a good thing? Do you think streamers, big streamers like Tectone, for example, do you think he's a healthy, well-adjusted individual? It's the editing version of me. You can tell because I have my headphones on and I've slightly changed my skin tone, so you guys know this is not the me in the past. Anyways, I was just going to leave this section alone, and I was just looking for some footage to show on B-roll right while I'm talking, but I found some tweets from Tectone, which I'm like, chef's kiss. It really highlights the fact that these people literally have no spines. Just him, well, in 2021, that was 4 years ago, talking about how if you're transphobic, racist, bigoted, whatever, get out of my community. I don't want you, right? And then you see all his shit now where he's being extremely transphobic, and it goes on, for a while, like this way he is now. And it just goes to show the point I'm going to make in, later on this video, but I'll spoil it here, is that these guys look for permission. So whatever the culture says they can do, they'll do it. They have no convictions. This was 4 years ago. And then suddenly it's, I want to be able to be a complete piece of shit. 4 years ago, he was so staunchly against it. It's insane. It's so insane to just see in real time, like the pivot. Like these people, oh, it's so good. And it's always like this too. You will always find a point where they were all like, hell yeah, I'm progressive, I'm inclusive. And then the minute they found out they could have a little bit more money, being a piece of shit, hard pivot. I just thought that was interesting.
He has allegations these days. And by the way, 99% of them were just completely unfounded. Straight up. Do you guys remember that shit? Maybe you should talk to the Muslim lantern. The Muslim lantern. I have no idea what that is. Wait, is that a confession? No, shut the fuck up, you fucking weird fuck. How about I kill you in real life? Good Lord, being weird as shit. But it is insane how, like, we are no longer called, like this is why we need to bring the word faggot back. Right? The reason why that is because when the internet says we can't say retard, we can't say faggot, we can't say, any of these words, right? Now creators have gone and said, oh, well, we can't say retard or this other word, so now we're going to call you a pedophile. Now we're going to call you a rapist. Now we're going to call you an abuser. Now we're going to call you a sexual assaulter, because you took away the fun hee-hee-ha-ha words from the internet that did not get you accused of a crime.
Do you think a healthy, well-adjusted individual would be arguing with a language learning model on the internet and lose said argument? Do you think a person who claimed they need to step away from it all, because they were getting angrier all the time, who loves streaming, apparently loves creating content, but then coincidentally stepped away when coincidentally there was a crackdown on botting, and now they spend most of their days on the internet harassing a trans creator? Do you think that's a healthy thing to do? Do you think that's a great use of someone's time? You see, I don't think so. I think a lot of these people are miserable. And I think a lot of that misery is directed towards trans people on the internet, because trans people, knowing the bullshit they'll go through, are still choosing to live authentically. And the people going after them, they can't fathom that. They can't fathom being their true authentic selves, because they've created this persona online, whether it's someone who's super edgy or someone who just doesn't give a shit. These are all personas they've crafted. Now you're seeing people who are like, yeah, this is my truth and I'm living it. And they're like, wait, you can't do that because I'm too scared to do that. And it makes them mad and makes them upset. So then they do that shit. And for everyone else, there are people who quite simply are weak-willed. They do not have any sort of spine whatsoever. So whenever there is an acceptable target, right, they will go whole hog on them, but they'll ignore everything else. They won't ever examine like the people who are telling them what to think and look at them closely and like, hey, I think it's kind of weird that you're always so obsessed with like trans women, or you're always so obsessed with women being ugly in video games, or obsessed with too much diversity in games. You don't think that's weird? Because they're not taught to think. They are taught to be angry. Because once you're angry, especially all the time, like I want you, easy to direct. It's very easy to direct anger. Very easy. Something's going wrong in your life, don't take accountability. Don't analyze the material conditions you find yourself in. No, just find a scapegoat. Oh, the reason you can't afford a house? Not because of capitalism. Could never be capitalism. It's because these migrants. If we get rid of them, then you can afford a house. Now you'll be able to find, a place to live. Now you can buy eggs, right? Same thing happening in the gaming space. All these anti-woke people, it's their grievances are made up, but they're angry. So they have to be angry at someone. So once again, let's be angry at the generic concept of the game industry. Let's be angry that they're woken up all of your games. Well, let's not be angry at the people who are conditioning you to look at things at such a toxic, negative way that you yourself are finding less and less things to enjoy in the hobby you proclaim to love. Because that's what it's all about. These people don't have joy. They have no joy in their life. And they want to make that everyone's problem. And it's very apparent to me that these are sad, lonely people. Once again, Tectone is arguing with something that is quite literally not a person, not real. Arguing with it. It's probably the only interaction he's getting from other people, right? Because he's a miserable person. The guy who put me on that list, a miserable person. The people who have to continuously create harassment campaigns in order to try to affect some change, in order to feel like they have accomplished something. They're miserable people. And I'm seeing that lots of you guys are starting to get hip to that, because a lot of their comments, a lot of their posts are getting hit with people for once checking them on things. I've been getting comments on my recent videos of people going like, wow, like, thank you for talking about this person. Finally, someone's talking about this person, right? Because everyone's tired of it. People are very tired of every time they go on the internet to look up something they're excited for, to see a billion fucking losers trying to tell them it's bad and wrong. And yet those are the same people who would say, I just want to play games. I just don't want games to preach to me, to tell me what to do. But games don't do that, right? you can take away a message, right? There's obviously an intended message, but games aren't telling you you're a bad person and you should play our game because you're bad. No game does that. And they'll never give you an example of a game that does in fact do that. Because like I said, it doesn't exist. Like their grievances, it's made up. These people are just angry. They are angry, miserable, joyless individuals. So they have to suck the joy out of everything to make everyone else miserable, so then they feel like they finally belong. Why do you think they have to go so hard, so often on the same targets? If it's not a trans creator who is, an acceptable target, then it's someone who's on the left of them. Hassan, for example. This isn't a video defending Hassan, by the way, but it's just a very prominent example. Almost all the people I mentioned have had videos or comments directly about Hassan, especially Tectone. You have Nux, you have Rev Says Des. You have all these people who, if they're not able to be completely just miserable fucks on the internet and get attention, then they will immediately try something else. Like, okay, fuck Hassan button, go. Or it's, you guys should let me say slurs. It's stuff that has to be edgy because they have to get the attention because they're miserable. People wouldn't willingly spend time with them or willingly watch them. But much like how we look at train wrecks, it's not the streamer, like actual car crashes, say car crashes. When we look at car crashes, it's awful, but you can't take your eyes off of it, right? That's how they operate. And they are continuously getting in car crashes because they need that attention. Because if they have to be truthful or be themselves for a second, people will see right through them, and that scares them. They're miserable, joyless, insecure people. And the reason why I'm saying all of this is because, and surprise, surprise, I'm getting a little political on this channel, but by now you've probably seen the White House announcement talking about how, they're going to designate Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization, which good luck with that. It's literally not an organization. Anti-fascism is an ideal that I feel like was one of the core principles of the funding of America, especially because, we went to a war over that. But you have a insecure, joyless administration, right? And one thing I've learned is these people need permission to be awful, because people's default more often than not needs to be neutral or just be kind to others, but they're not like that. So they have to consistently be awful people. And you're seeing that. The right, as of right now, controls the government. And as far as the gaming discourse goes, they control most of the discourse, unfortunately. But even with that, they are still aggrieved because they are permanent victims, because they're miserable people. They have to be permanent victims because they have to perpetuate their misery. Because now they have everything, they still want more, but there's nothing left for them. That's why they're always upset every time a game comes out. No matter if it's a little bit woke or not woke at all, it's the wokest game ever. They need that manufactured drama in order to get attention, because they can't have people just be happy because they're unhappy. The people in our government are very unhappy people. They're very petty people. They're very spiteful people. Same thing with the people we're interacting with on this level, in this space. They're petty, spiteful individuals, which is why they have approved targets, which is why you'll see them almost always go after a trans person. They almost always go after like a left-leaning person, because that way they can get attention and they can get support from their other right-leaning, miserable people. If you're familiar with the group like Friday Night Tights, right? It's like Nerd Rock and those losers. They get together every Friday and they just be bigoted. That's it. But there's no like joy there. They're not like happy with each other. They're like short and fraud, sure, but like they're not happy with each other. They just want to be allowed to be miserable to profit from it. These people don't have any real convictions. And I'm saying all this because I want you guys, truthfully, stop being cowards. Push back. You push back a little bit and you will see them crumble. And I think we're starting to see that even now. You're starting to see creators who popped off being pieces of shit getting dunked on relentlessly. Need I mention Actman versus Andy Pants? Like, Andy Pants can only make videos if he's specifically being a over the top. At this point, it's obvious it's a fucking character he's playing, but like an over the top person who's like, men should be in wars and women should be in the kitchen, because he's running out of things to talk about. Everything's gay and woke. He got destroyed by Actman. Actman isn't exactly this philosopher. He's not exactly this orator who can, you know, string together the most eloquent sentences and defeat your argument. And yet, if you watch that debate, if you can call it that, you would think that Actman was a professor in video game history and literature.
And I'll be the first to say that I've grown since then, and I've moved on from former views.
Yeah, you've moved on from the Xbox console warrior grift to the 100%. Anti-LGBTQ grift.
Sure, if that's what you want to call it. Have you?
That's what it is, man.
Because these people aren't accustomed to people actually pushing back. They're accustomed to their echo chamber of people, which is ironic because they'll say people like me have echo chamber. And I'm like, have you not seen my comment section? People come after me all the fucking time. But they're so used to their echo chambers that when people push back against them, they have nothing to do. They retreat, right? It's why if you're on Twitter in those spaces, you'll see them tag a bunch of other anti-woke creators because they can't stand on their own. Because the point is not to be standing on their own. The point is to dogpile, harass. They have to do these things in mobs. Because by themselves, they know they're weak. And we outnumber them. So push back. They say some bullshit, push back on it. They want to talk about how, oh man, things are getting too woke. No, explain. What's being so woke? If you guys saw my video on Legendary Drops, my most recent one, I should say, I did the same thing. Every time he tries to vague post, no, what are you talking about? What game is preaching to you? What are they preaching? Oh, games are being too woke. What's woke about this? Oh, there's too much diversity. Why is that a problem? Like, push back against their ideology. You'll see it crumble. And it should crumble because it's not anything worth supporting. If you are a person who's like, I just want to play video game, that's awesome. That's great. You know who's preventing you from just playing games? The losers who want you to be upset because there's 3 dark-skinned people in a video game. It's the people who want you to boycott a game because the voice actor is trans or isn't a part of the LGBTQ. It's the people who want you to really look at a game like, wait a minute. Pronouns, type A and type B, like it's those people. Those are the ones who are trying to make you unable to enjoy games. You watch a game trailer, there's a woman, it's woke. It's them. They're the ones who are making everything worse because they're miserable people. And I don't want you guys to be miserable. I want us to enjoy this hobby. I want us to be able to engage in actual conversations of, you know, some material outcomes, right? I want to be able to talk about things in a way that we can maybe critique in a positive way. And because, you know, positive critique is like constructive criticism, right? Not just like this is shitty and bad. You know, you then go on to explain why and ways they can improve, or just talk about games you're excited about. But if we keep acquiescing to these people, if we keep parroting their talking points that make no sense, we keep allowing them to just say shit with no evidence, then we are going to be stuck in this cycle forever. It's why they feel so emboldened to do the shit they do. It's why the people who follow them feel so emboldened to do the shit that they do, right? It's why they can fake tweets about people because those are acceptable targets and no one's pushing back. If we don't push back, it must be okay. It's not okay. Let's be better. This is the time. This is the critical juncture. This is the time now where we need to start pushing back, where we need to start challenging ideologies, when we need to be like, no, if you're going to come here and say like X game is woke and Y company is DEI, whatever, prove it. Show me the facts. Argue your point. Prove it. Prove to me and to everyone else that the people who made Concord did so in a way that they are focusing more on diversity than gameplay. Show me proof of that. That wasn't a random example, but that was literally a point that Legendary Joss made in my video. Like, he made that point. So if you see stuff like that, push back, and you'll notice a change in tone. You'll notice them having to either not say anything or just completely fucking shut up. If you think I'm wrong, I mentioned this in my other video. Look at Heels versus Babyface. He didn't know that Cyborg existed outside of the DCU. He thought the term cyborg was specifically about Vic Stone. And he thought he was so funny. And then he got blown the fuck out. And what did he do? He tripled down. And then when he was continuously getting blown the fuck out, he said, haha, I got people mad. Rent free. James Gunn sucks. And Peacemaker sucks. They have nothing. These people are weak because they're miserable. I'm telling you, if you push back against them, you will see they will fucking fold.